Robert Redford is one of Hollywood's most iconic and enduring figures, a brilliant actor, visionary director, and philanthropist who reshaped American independent cinema through his founding of the Sundance Film Festival. In a career spanning more than 6 decades, he has delivered classic film roles, from the outlaw Sundance Kid in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969, to investigative journalist Bob Woodward in All the President's Men, 1976, and won the Academy Award for Best Director for Ordinary People, 1980. However, it wasn't until he was 89, nearly 2 decades after the death of his friend and professional collaborator, Paul Newman, that Robert Redford decided to publicly reveal his deep and personal thoughts about their enduring relationship. What prompted a notoriously private icon, who maintained his privacy even in complex personal matters like his marriage and family, to finally open up about their friendship? Did the complexity of their artistic partnership create an unspoken understanding that made words unnecessary until the very end? Or is this confession a reflection of loss, a belated tribute to the profound influence Newman had on Redford's personal life, treating him like a brother? Let's explore Robert Redford's journey through life, where fame met friendship and everlasting respect, and analyze the significance of his late words in his cinematic legacy. Robert Redford, born Charles Robert Redford Jr., was born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California. He grew up in a modest family. His mother, Martha Hart, was a freelance illustrator and commercial artist who instilled in him an appreciation for creativity and aesthetics. And his father, Charles Robert Redford Sr., worked as a chemist and laboratory technician. His Southern California upbringing, with its vibrant culture and Hollywood mystique, sowed the early seeds for Redford's later film career. Redford's early educational experiences also shaped him. He attended Van Nuys High School, where he developed a love of drama and performance. After high school, he studied architecture at the University of Colorado. However, his passion for the arts led him to abandon architecture to pursue formal acting training. He attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, a prestigious institution that provided him with a rigorous training. Redford's acting career took off in the late 1950s and early 1960s with television appearances in series such as Alfred Hitchcock Presents and The Twilight Zone. He made his Broadway debut in 1959 with a small role in Tall Story. His biggest success on Broadway was as the demure newlywed husband in Neil Simon's 1963 comedy Barefoot in the Park. Redford truly emerged as a genuine Hollywood icon in the late 1960s and 1970s. His breakthrough role was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969, opposite Paul Newman. This film captured the imagination of audiences, cementing his image as a charismatic leading man, possessing a blend of rugged charm and sophisticated composure. Redford's portrayal of the Sundance Kid was not only critically acclaimed, but also culturally influential, representing a new kind of American hero who was at once rebellious, introspective, and charismatic. In addition to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Redford won a BAFTA for this role and for his roles in Downhill Racer, 1969, and Tell Them Willie Boy Is Here, 1969. His career continued to flourish with roles in later films such as The Sting, 1973. This reunion with Paul Newman became the highest-grossing film of 1974. The film also earned Redford his only Oscar nomination for Best Actor, All the President's Men, 1976. In this critically acclaimed film, Redford co-produced and starred as reporter Bob Woodward, with Dustin Hoffman as Carl Bernstein, a landmark work that reflected Redford's interest in political issues and journalistic integrity. Out of Africa, 1985. This romantic epic, based on Karen Bixen's memoir, showcased Redford's ability to portray complex characters in emotionally charged stories and grand settings. In addition to acting, Robert Redford is also acclaimed as a visionary filmmaker and advocate for independent cinema. In 1980, he founded the Sundance Institute, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting independent filmmakers and nurturing new talent. This initiative led to the birth of the Sundance Film Festival, which has become the leading platform for independent films worldwide. Redford has directed and produced many successful films, cementing his reputation as an artist, capable of shaping both compelling stories and the film industry itself. Ordinary People, 1980. The film won the Academy Award for Best Picture and earned Redford the Academy Award for Best Director, cementing his reputation. A River Runs Through It, 1992. A critically acclaimed family drama that delves into themes of familial bonds and the subtle beauty of nature, cementing Redford's stature as a filmmaker capable of creating profound and moving cinematic experiences. Despite his public persona, Redford has always maintained a certain level of privacy in his personal life. Redford married Lola Van Wagenen on August 9, 1958, in Las Vegas. They held a second reception at Lola's grandmother's house on September 12th of the same year to share the joy with relatives. They had 4 children. 1. Scott Anthony Redford, born September 1, 1959, who tragically died at the age of 2.5 months on November 17, 1959, from sudden infant death syndrome SIDS. 2. Shauna Jean Redford, born November 15, 1960, a talented artist who married journalist and author Eric Schlosser. 3. David James Redford, born May 5, 1962, who pursued a career in writing and film production, died on October 16, 2020, leaving behind a legacy of storytelling. 4. Amy Hart Redford, born October 22, 1970, is an actress, director, and producer. Although Redford and Van Wagenen maintained a deep connection through their children and shared experiences, their romantic relationship grew distant over time. The couple never publicly confirmed their separation or divorce, remaining private about their evolving relationship. However, in 1982, entertainment journalist Shirley Eder reported that the couple had been apart for years. On July 11, 2009, Redford entered a new chapter in his personal life when he married his longtime girlfriend, Sybil Sagers, an artist. Ironically, for someone as famous and incredibly successful as Robert Redford, his greatest tragedy was not a public scandal, but a deep personal loss. One of the biggest losses was the death of his lifelong friend and film collaborator, Paul Newman. The relationship between Redford and Newman was celebrated by the public through their great chemistry and the commercial success of 2 films, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969, and The Sting, 1973. Paul Newman died in 2008. The public knew they were friends, but Redford always kept his deep and private feelings about his co-star private. Newman was awarded an honorary Oscar in 1985, and Redford dropped out of a film project, A Walk in the Woods, that he had planned to co-star with Newman after his death, showing how influential Newman was. However, the public did not really understand the deep nature of this relationship. The relationship between the 2 legends was only unveiled at Redford's age of 89 through his rare and intimate confession. Redford spoke candidly and with an understanding that only comes from a shared life and mutual respect. "Paul is the kind of person who makes everyone around him better," he revealed. He described Newman as having an easy charm and humility, never letting success overshadow his humanity or generosity, even at the height of his fame. More importantly, Redford shed light on the unique dynamic of their professional collaboration. "We had an unspoken understanding on set," he explained. This respect allowed them to push each other creatively while maintaining a light-hearted friendship that made long shooting days feel seamless. They spent countless hours discussing character motivations, improvising scenes, and challenging each other to improve their performances, not for fame, but for the love of the craft. The truth behind the long silence is not a scandal, but the depth of a rare personal and professional friendship. Redford has revealed the personal impact Newman had on his life. "He was more than just a friend. He was like a brother," Redford revealed. Their bond was a rare blend of companionship, mentorship, and quiet encouragement that transcended conventional social connections and left a lasting mark. Redford's choice to speak out at age 89 is an act of nostalgia and gratitude. Aging and death, Redford himself died at 89, may have been the catalyst for this final testimony. It is Redford's way of cementing Newman's legacy as not just cinematic, but deeply human. Redford has always been a celebrity reluctant to embrace the sex symbol image. He once said that he never thought of himself as a charming or handsome man, and that a glamorous image can be a real burden. It's rubbish. He always sought to challenge conventional wisdom and pursue complex social issues, as in Quiz Show. Because of this low-key nature, Redford and Newman maintained a private, unpretentious relationship despite the spotlight. The truth behind their relationship was not something to hide, but something they wanted to protect from public trivialization. Their relationship was built on deep professional respect. Redford shared how Newman taught him that success is measured by kindness, integrity, and the impact you have on people. This showed a shared philosophy of work and life, a value system that transcended the pressures of Hollywood. Redford's confession is a testament to the integrity that Newman represents. The culmination is the moment Redford decided to open up, using his public platform in his later years to pay his deepest tribute. This is the moment he fulfilled his role in telling the full story of this great duo, based not only on their two successful films, but also on their personal support, mentorship, and brotherly friendship. Redford's public release of these thoughts is of great significance. For the legacy, it provides a precious window into the lives of one of Hollywood's greatest duos, cementing their shared legacy as revered cinematic icons, beyond mere celebrity. For the public, Redford's confession is a reminder that behind the public persona are deep human connections, forged in the crucible of Hollywood pressure. It challenges the idea that celebrity relationships are only superficial. The meaning of the dark truth and the structure of mystery. In this case, the dark truth is not a scandalous secret, but rather a truth about a personal depth hidden by Redford's reticence. This truth, when revealed, is shocking, emotionally, not because it is disillusioning, but because it reinforces the public's belief in the authenticity of the on-screen relationship between Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a chemistry that turns out to be a reflection of a lifelong friendship. Robert Redford's life was a cross between the bright lights of Hollywood and a deeply introspective world, evidenced by his artistic vision, as expressed at Sundance, and his unwavering commitment to personal values through his environmental and human rights activism. His career was marked by achievements such as winning the Academy Award for Best Director, 1980, and the Golden Statue Lifetime Achievement Award, 2017. His belated confession at age 89 about Paul Newman is a meaningful final chapter in Redford's legacy. It is a final testament to a friend who made everyone around him better, affirming that Newman was a brother, not just a colleague. The unfolding truth about that friendship raises questions about the boundaries between public and private life in the entertainment industry. Is Redford's belated confession proof that only when faced with the end of a life are we truly willing to reveal our deepest personal relationships, or is it a way for Hollywood icons to protect their most sacred things from the public glare so that they remain as intact as possible?